Earth. For most of us, it is a round blue and green planet in the Milky Way galaxy, rotating at roughly 1,000 miles per hour at the equator, and orbiting the Sun at an average of 67,000 miles per hour. Its population at the time of this video is roughly 7 billion human beings. And depending on what you believe, it is 4.5 billion years old. But how much do we really know about the planet we live on? How do we know it's a globe that orbits the Sun? We put a lot of trust in the powers that govern us on a day-by-day basis. But what if they were lying to us all? What if they always have been, and we are none the wiser? Hello, and welcome back to the Rifter Conspiracy. I am, of course, the Rifter, and today we're going to discuss something that has been disproved for centuries. What if I told you you weren't on a globe rotating around the Sun with other planets? What if I told you you were on a disk in space traveling forever upwards and are at the center of a geocentric system? The flat Earth theory has been around for centuries, and today I'm going to analyze this in some depth. So sit back, listen, and learn. The flat Earth theory. While I could not find any photos or diagrams that were not copyrighted, I will do my best to sketch out the model. The flat Earth theory states that the Earth is a disc-shaped object in space. The Arctic Circle is the very center of the disk and is designated north on a compass. The outer edge is the Antarctic ice wall, which is a wall that is 150 feet tall and designated as south on a compass. Depending on which model you subscribe to, the north seems to be the highest in elevation, then it dips down and then back up for the ice wall in Antarctica. The underside of the disk is largely unknown, but it is believed to be rock. Stars are explained to be spotlights 3,100 miles up that rotate on a plane and illuminate different parts of the disk. The Sun and the Moon rotate around the Earth's surface. The Sun drifts to create the different seasons. The Moon is on a fixed orbit. I have found conflicting measurements on these two celestial bodies, though. Some models say 700 miles from the Earth's surface, and others say 3,000 miles away. The Sun and Moon measure about 32 miles each. There is also the mention of a dark object or anti-moon that causes the different phases of the Moon and eclipses. Gravity. So how does gravity work on a disc-shaped object in space? This disk travels upward at 32 feet per second by a mysterious force known as dark energy. Somehow, Einstein's theory of relativity still works into this model without the Earth continuously gaining speed and reaching the speed of light. The ice wall. This is by far the most interesting part of the theory to me. The ice wall is a 150-foot tall wall of ice, which is supposedly guarded by NASA employees to keep people from finding out the truth about the Earth being flat and falling off the edge of the Earth. That would require a lot of people employed by the US government. What would they do with the people that actually made it that far and discovered the truth? While there is a tall 150-foot wall that surrounds Antarctica, there are research stations built on Antarctica, so I think someone would have noticed the world drop off the sides. The conspiracy. With all the evidence to the contrary, what would make anyone think that the Earth is actually flat instead of round? The way the conspiracy goes is the US government and several others around the world don't want the public to know the Earth is flat because they are trying to hide God from the public. There are actually a few theories as to why the government would want to keep a flat Earth to themselves. The lands outside the ice wall are utopias and are mineral rich, which the government mines and uses for resources. My only concern with that theory is, why does the flat Earth model not reflect the utopia outside of the ice wall? Some say God said the world is a disk, and in order to turn everyone away from God, man created science to explain God away. To me, that would sound like the second most plausible reason. Where does NASA fit into this theory? NASA is a fake agency that keeps this big secret under wraps. They fabricate all videos and photos of Earth from space. The whole point of NASA is to fake a space program to hide the fact that the Earth is flat. The purpose of hiding the fact that the Earth is flat is still unclear to me. My thoughts on the conspiracy. My theory for a government hiding any kind of information like this isn't to hide that the Earth is flat. While the last reason about hiding resources and utopias seems plausible if the Earth were actually flat, the bigger picture in this kind of theory would be that instead of the government hiding that the Earth is flat, it wouldn't really matter what shape they said the world was. The most plausible explanation for NASA would be a shell program to say they are going into space and then funneling the majority of those funds into special interest projects. That would be my take on the entire theory if it held up. My question to flat earthers that think the government is trying to hide God and the promised land from the public would be, why doesn't your model reflect the outlying land masses where these utopias are said to exist? In all the models of flat Earth, I only see everything ending at the ice wall. Reasons people think the Earth is flat. Number 1. The horizon is not curved. The Earth is 24,901 miles in circumference. From the ground, at an average height of 5 feet, you can see roughly 3 miles on a flat surface or landscape. You would need to be at a height of 35,000 feet or more, with near perfectly clear conditions to start seeing the slightest curvature of the Earth. This means no clouds and 0% humidity. Number 2. Antarctica is a giant 150-foot high ice wall. This seems extremely silly to me, but I have thought about this one at length. There are scientists stationed in Antarctica doing research, and a photograph would have surfaced by now of a gigantic wall surrounding a flat Earth. With all of the nude photos leaked from famous people's phones, someone would have retrieved one of the biggest scientific discoveries of all time by now, not to mention one of the biggest conspiracies in the history of humanity. Number 3. The Earth is stationary, otherwise we would feel it spinning. The only way you would ever feel the Earth's rotation would be if the Earth decelerated or accelerated. If that happened, the effects would be catastrophic. If you are on a bus on a smooth road, or a plane on a smooth flight, you don't actually feel the plane or bus moving forward. Once you reach a constant speed, your senses tell you that you are standing still. You would only feel it if the bus or plane accelerated or decelerated. Number 4. All space images are photoshopped. This one is a little bit harder to disprove, simply because the technology to fake photos and videos have come so far. On NASA TV, they have a live feed of the space station, and you can see most of the Earth in the video. There have been other space agencies taking photos of the Earth as well as the US, and these pictures are widely available, so I don't think the government is trying to cover up the fact that the Earth is flat. Number 5. My senses tell me the Earth is flat. It feels flat and looks flat, so it must be flat. If you go to a place called Ripley's Believe It or Not, you can walk through a tunnel that has a walkway suspended midair through it. The platform is not moving, however the tunnel is rotating around the platform. It makes you feel like you are constantly leaning and you are going to fall over. It throws off your senses and makes you dizzy. It looks like the floor is moving and feels like the floor is moving, so it must be moving, right? Number 6. You can see Venus and Mercury at night. Those 2 planets are the first 2 planets from the Sun, so they should be visible with the Sun all the time. It depends on the angle you observe them at. It is usually in the direction of the Sun, so just before and after sunrise and sunset, they can be seen. Even during the day, they can be seen. The Earth blocks the sun rays for nighttime, then the sun will still shine on the planets to illuminate them for us to see at night. Number 7. Crepuscular rays. Sun rays should be falling flat against the Earth instead of fanning out from behind clouds. Sun rays that appear to come from a centralized location and radiate outward are called crepuscular rays. These rays do not appear to be parallel. In actuality, they are parallel. The perspective you are looking from causes the phenomena. These are not the only reasons people believe that the Earth is flat, but they are some of the most widely cited false facts that flat earthers claim to be true. Some will say that these are just excuses or false science, but I didn't really have to do much research on the answers. It is basic grade school science. The only research I had to do was specific measurements for Earth and the speeds. Flat earthers. The entire theory makes no sense. I know there are a lot of people adopting this theory. Currently, about 2% of the US population believes that the Earth is flat. That number grows by about 200 people per year, according to some statistics. While it is admirable to stand up for what you believe in, you have to look at the science facts in this case. I do not adopt the flat Earth theory. You can rest assured the Earth is a sphere. There is no benefit from every single government lying about space travel and faking their space programs. The only benefit to faking a space program would be funneling the majority of that money into projects and misleading the public about it. There is no benefit to lying about a flat Earth. However, that would require an entirely different video. In conclusion, I have found no evidence that this theory holds up scientifically or otherwise. You can rest assured that the Earth is a sphere. If NASA and other government agencies are faking space programs, it isn't because the Earth is flat. I think Christopher Columbus proved that the Earth was round when he sailed to find India and hit North America instead. If you like this video and want me to make more of them, please click that like button. If you want to be notified of my video releases, click the subscribe button and then click the bell icon to get notified of all my video releases. As always, I'm the Rifter. Thank you for watching The Rifter Conspiracy, and I'll see you in the next video.